This is all really suspicious.
What is?
Congressman Tsujima and the Kumakuras. There's definitely something going on there.
I agree, but I am not sure it is linked to the new Cyclops serial killings. We need to do further investigation.
Hey, you! You can't just break into someone's car like that. Wait, your body is transparent. What the? Impossible. How did a jellyfish get in here? So shiny, too.
You utter idiot. It's me.
Renju?
Do I look like Renju?
Mizuki?
It's me.
Boss?
Date, seriously.
Then, are you Mom?
Idiot. They must have increased your dosage too much.
My dosage? Anyway, you're Aiba, right? Why are you here? Looking like that?
I just thought I would project myself. You seem lonely.
How are you doing this?
I am overlaying the image your left eye processes with augmented reality. You can't see me through your right eye, only your left.
You can't just pop into my eyeball without permission.
You do realize I do that all the time, right? As I said earlier, I completely agree that they are suspicious, but there is nothing currently linking them to the case.
That's true. We have no established motive. Victims were displayed, tied up on a horse, hung from the ceiling, and their left eyes taken out. We still don't know why.
It is possible that Shoko and Renju were disloyal to Congressman Tsujima and the Kumakuras. They could have been killed and displayed as a warning. That would fit the current evidence.
Maybe. But it doesn't feel right. Come to think of it, you look kind of like you do when you're in Somnium. What's that about?
What do you mean?
Well, you don't usually look like that. You have a Somnium form and another form.
Oh, this?
Yes, that. Why are you doing this now?
I was bored last night, so
Huh?
I thought you would like it.
Why would I like it?
Well, I did attempt to shape myself to your preference.
If you could do that, change it.
I will not,
Why not?
because I won't. I fear you would eventually grow tired of the other form as well. I just wanted to change my look a little. Think of it as a haircut.
Pretty drastic haircut.
I looked into that. Unfortunately, I did not find anything in our database that could connect the two.
I see.
However, I did discover some rumors on the internet. Most of them come across as gossip or conspiracy theories. But we...
Please.
Mr. Tsujima currently resides in Azabu. He lives in a mansion, a restored samurai castle. But 20 years ago, So Tsujima lived elsewhere, in the Kawasaki district to be exact. He lived there until he was 40 years old. The Tsujima family owned a vast amount of real estate in the district. Adjusting for inflation, the land was valued above 30 billion yen. The Tsujima family sold off its holdings. 6 months later, the incident occurred.
The explosion at the chemical plant.
This caused Kawasaki to become a restricted area. And of course, land prices fell drastically to less than 1/30th their original value. What are your thoughts?
The timing is certainly suspicious. To sell that amount of land just 6 months before it happened.
There is another interesting fact. After the accident, So Tsujima purchased all of the land back for just 1 billion yen.
So he's got 29 billion yen in his pocket and 1 billion yen of land.
Correct. Despite the horrific accident, the Tsujima family is no worse off.
True. But I don't see the point of it. It's not like you got anything out of it.
That would be true, but there is more to this story. There is another important fact. After the land prices in the Kawasaki region crashed... we will have to continue this conversation later. I am receiving a call from headquarters.
Is this Special Agent Date from Abyss? My name is Akaska, from HQ. I'm investigating the Shoko Nadami case. There's something that you need to hear.
What is it?
We got a phone call earlier from a prisoner at Fuchu Prison.
A prisoner?
We saved the call. I think you should give it a listen. Who is this?
In here, I'm known as number 89.
What is this call concerning?
I know who killed Shoko Nadami, and if you let me out of here, I will tell you who it is. I suppose you might say I'm looking for a plea bargain. He will kill again, you know, and he'll take their eye while they're still alive. There will be more bodies. If you want to stop this serial killer, I suggest you take my offer. I'll be seeing you.
This has to be a prank.
That's what I thought too. However, we got the call yesterday afternoon, before Renju was killed. In other words,
You're saying he predicted the second crime?
yeah, I think he did. That's why I thought I should contact you.
Good idea. Thanks, Detective.
Good luck.
Do you think there's anything to this?
I don't know.
Oh, Date.
What's wrong? You look like you have a lot on your mind.
Yeah. I just found out online. The corpse at Bloom Park. That was Renju's ex-wife, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So that was Mizuki's mom. Mizuki saw her own mom. And I just left her. But I didn't know. I knew her as Shoko Nadami. Her last name is different. I didn't know that was Mizuki's mother. I want to apologize to her. I need to tell her that I'm sorry. That one is called Lying, Wishing, Marking Demons.
Date, look! A little stink bug! Yay! A stink bug!
Oh, that's Rundoyer.
Who is that?
That's just a high stool.
What about high school?
I said stool.
One more bowl, please.
That would be soba.
No problem. After all, it means we get to see each other again.
I'm glad.
She's recording a podcast right now. Looking at her schedule, it should end soon. Hey now, that's awfully aggressive. You're an alpha type, aren't you? I kinda like that.
And I kinda like you.
Oh, but there is one little thing you should know about me. I'm a reptilian. Is that going to be a problem?
What's a reptilian?
A reptilian humanoid alien. They are said to be shapeshifters that take on human form.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be a problem.
Aw, too bad.
You get asked out a lot, don't you? I don't know why you're sitting here behind a desk. You should be an idol.
Oh, thank you. But despite my looks, I am a bit too old to be an idol. I couldn't get into it now.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I turned 36 this year.
You're kidding. Mizuki didn't seem like she was angry with you.
What? You met Mizuki? Oh, at the interrogation.
That's right. He doesn't know I live with Mizuki. I have no reason to hide it, but it's sort of hard to explain. Yeah, I spoke to Mizuki at her, questioning earlier.
You're sick, Date.
What?
Questioning? That sounds dirty. If I were writing a light novel, that's exactly how I would describe a sexy scene.
What kind of novels are you writing, kid?
Nowhere, just doing my normal routine.
I don't know your normal routine.
I went to a doujin store to look at the new releases. Then I ate some ramen at Jiro's, and then headed over to the PC cafe to browse threads. You know, normal.
If that's normal, I haven't had a normal day in my life.
I don't know anything. I've only seen Renju a couple of times.
I didn't think it was possible to be this bad at lying.
Though it is plainly obvious, I did a thermal check on Ota's body. This is his current body temperature.
That's what I thought. Have you forgotten, Ota? You're my thrall. You don't want me to tell Iris your secret, do you?
Huh?
Wait, it's no big deal. I just...
You better start talking.
Okay. Last night, I was walking over to Sunfish Pocket, and I saw Renju come out of the building.
Was he alone? Someone was with him. A man. No. A woman. Okay, look. I can tell you're trying to protect her, but you have to help me out here. Was it Iris?
No, it definitely for sure wasn't Tessa.
Got it. So Renju was with Iris.
Okay, fine. There's no point in hiding it, I guess. You're right. Renju came out of the building with Tessa. Tessa has nothing to do with this. She wouldn't murder anyone. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She's an idol. Idols don't kill people.
You need to stop putting her on a pedestal.
Tessa is a savior to me. The Tessa I know wouldn't hurt anyone. The first time I met her, I had a bad case of writer's block. And I saw all this awful negativity online, and I lost sight of what I really wanted to write. It was the lowest point of my life.
He is talking like a professional, though he hasn't published anything.
Yeah.
Then, by pure chance, I found a video of Tessa singing and dancing, and it made me realize something important. You don't have to care what people think, you know? If you do your best at what you believe in, your message will get through to people. That attitude is something all great creators need to have. After that, I became a huge A-Set fan and got over my writer's block. And I know I'm not the only one Tessa has inspired. A lot of otaku like me say that Tessa is their savior. She cheers them up when they're down. So there's no way Tessa can be involved in murder. Absolutely impossible. But do you suspect her?
I need to hear her side of the story. If I do, I might find out she's totally innocent. If you truly believe that she didn't do it, you should tell me everything you know.
But...
Do it for Iris.
Around 6:15, I guess.
Where did they go?
I didn't see. They got into Renju's car and drove off.
What did you do?
I went inside Sunfish Pocket, but I saw a sign that said the entire club was reserved. I figured I would just go home.
What happened?
Date.
Iris, there's something I need to ask you. Come with me.
Hmm?
Iris, I'm going to ask you some questions. Please answer honestly. However, you do not have to say anything that might incriminate you.
The right to remain silent? You're treating me like a criminal.
Not exactly. I'm just looking for the truth, and I would appreciate your cooperation.
This is the camera used to record the interrogation. Images captured by this camera are sent to the database in real time. It is later saved permanently on our servers. You can remotely control it as well.
I heard you used to work at Sunfish Pocket.
That's right.
How long?
A little over a year.
Working there that long, you're probably pretty familiar with the equipment.
Yeah, I guess.
What about the surveillance camera? Do you know where those tapes were stored?
What are you trying to say?
When did you find out Renju was killed?
This morning, on the news.
And you were with Renju last night? You didn't think to call the police and inform them of this?
Oh, sorry. Is that something you're supposed to do? I had a podcast to record this morning, so if I went to the police, I'd be late. And that would cause everyone a lot of trouble, you know?
Here's what Ota told me. Yesterday around 6:15 p.m., you and Renju came out of the Sunfish Pocket building. Is that true?
Yes? Mr. Okiura called me and told me he wanted me to come to Sunfish Pocket, ASAP.
Around what time was that?
5 p.m., I think. I got ready, then headed over there. I guess I got there about an hour later.
Date, I checked her call history. At 4:58 p.m., there is a record of a call to Iris from Renju's phone.
What were you doing with Renju?
He asked me about a job.
What kind of job?
He rented out Sunfish Pocket for a party and he wanted me to MC. He said that it was an important party and that a lot of big shots were gonna be there, but the girl he asked to do it originally got sick and couldn't come. But I turned him down.
Why?
Because I'm just an internet idol. I've never done any MCing before, especially with important people being there.
What did you do after you turned him down?
I left with Mr. Okiura at 6:15 p.m. That must have been when Ota saw me.
And after that?
I asked Mr. Okiura to take me home in his car. I got home at 7 p.m. I was home the rest of the night.
What do you think, Iba?
I cannot detect any contradictions. However, her story appears almost too organized. Human memory is ambiguous. Her use of exact times leads me to be suspicious.
That's true. What were you doing from 7 to 9 last night?
I was at home the whole time.
You're sure?
Yes.
Iba, thermograph.
There is no noticeable rise in Iris's body temperature.
She isn't lying.
Not necessarily. We must consider the possibility that she is a natural liar.
With that kind of confidence, her temperature wouldn't change.
Correct.
Renju's estimated time of death was 8 p.m. last night. Iris' story is true, she couldn't have done it.
There is another possibility. Even if Iris was at home, she could have killed Renju.
You mean... I'll ask again. You are sure you were at home around 8 p.m. yesterday?
Yes.
Can I ask your mother about your alibi?
You can, but there'd be no point.
Why is that?
My mom wasn't home. She came back home early this morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Where was she?
I don't know.
You don't know. Come to think of it, Iris' mom had connections to Renju too.
Hitomi did mention that yesterday.
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High. We've known each other for 20 years now.
However, we have nothing to link her to the case.
But I am curious, what was Hitomi doing last night?
Am I a suspect?
It's not like that.
It's fine, Date. It's true that I met with Mr. Okiura yesterday, but... How do I put this? It's impossible that I'm the killer.
Why?
I'm a teenage girl. Mr. Okiura is a fully grown man.
Oh, she's got a point. A girl like her could have stabbed, poisoned, or shot him dead, but strangling?
No, it's still possible. You see, a heavy concentration of sedatives were discovered in Renju's body. Renju was practically in a coma before he died. He wouldn't have struggled.
So, Iris could have strangled him.
Wait a minute. Even if I was somehow able to kill him, the rest of it is impossible.
The rest of it?
Like hanging up his body?
How do you know that?
What do you mean? It's all over the news.
That's true. Renju weighed about 160 pounds. Even if she used her entire body weight, I don't think she could have hauled him up.
Right. It would be hard for her to do it with her strength alone. But with a little ingenuity, it could be done.
Ingenuity?
I don't think so, Date. This is irrelevant to the question of how to lift Renju's body.
It went like this. First, Renju was laid out on the counter. Next, the wire was thrown over the beam and connected to the hook in his jaw. Then all you need to do is put the 3 beer kegs on the counter.
You think a teenage girl could have done that?
I'm sure it was hard. The kegs weighed 55 pounds each. That's not impossible, even for a teenage girl.
I guess it isn't impossible.
After that, you get on top of the counter, hook the other end of the wires to the kegs, and then, what do you think happens if you kick the kegs off the counter?
The 3 kegs weighed 165 pounds altogether. Renju weighs 5 pounds less. I guess that would make it possible. But there is one more thing.
What?
Considering the state of the crime scene, it's clear Renju was killed elsewhere and brought to where we found him. If Iris is the culprit, how did she move the body?
Hey!
I know. You're going to say you couldn't have moved a 160-pound body.
Unfortunately for her, she could have.
How?
You have to prove that Iris could have moved. That is your current task. This will not help you accomplish that.
Do you know what this is? It's Renju's favorite watch. This was discovered inside an empty oil drum at Sunfish Pocket.
Hey, Date, I know you're on a roll right now, but could you please report things like that according to protocol?
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that it wouldn't be so hard to move a body if it were in a cylinder. You would just have to roll it.
So you're saying Renju's body was moved inside the drum, which is how the watch came off. But the suspect didn't notice it.
I'm not saying anything for sure, just pointing out that it's possible.
I didn't do it! You don't even have any witnesses! If I were rolling an oil drum in the middle of the street, people would have noticed!
You could have put it in a car and driven it.
I don't have a license!
Doesn't mean you can't drive. Even an AI can drive nowadays.
Are you mocking me?
Don't make sudden outbursts like that.
You insulted me!
Just be quiet.
Who are you talking to?
Anyway, Iris, you weigh about 105 pounds, right?
Where is this coming from?
If only you weighed more. Or less.
That is none of your business.
No, I mean that your weight is relevant to the case. If the oil drum was used to transport the corpse, then the possibility of the suspect being around 105 pounds is extremely likely.
Why do you say that?
You are trying to prove that the suspect weighed around 100. Your thinking is correct, but you need better evidence.
Iris, on which floor is Sunfish Pocket located?
On the second floor?
That's right. So, I checked the elevator records. Before the corpse was discovered, the elevator only stopped at the second floor once. At 8:55 p.m., and we discovered that the total cargo weight on the elevator was about 310 pounds. Renju weighed 160. The oil drum weighs 44. Together, that's about 205. Subtracting that from 310.
This doesn't look good.
Why are you...
Now, this obviously doesn't prove you're the murderer. A lot of people weigh 105 pounds. Or someone could have put 105 extra pounds in the elevator, sent it up, and taken the stairs to throw us off the trail. However,
Date, stop. Iris is acting strange. Don't turn around.
why not?
Just stay put. Keep your eyes on the wall. There are several cameras in this room. 2 surveillance cameras installed at the corners of the ceiling, and 1 camera on a tripod. I hacked each to gain access to their recordings. Look at this.
Ah, shit. Iris, what are you thinking? What is that thing? Hey, answer me, Iris.
She's definitely hiding something, Date. Sync with her.
Iris is experiencing REM sleep. Medication is working perfectly.
about it, Date? Think you can do it?
Not a problem. Get it started.
The time limit is 6 minutes. So before time is up,
I know.
then let's begin.
What is this place?
It looks depressing. How is this related to Iris?
Unknown, but there must be a connection.
Iris, what are you hiding?
Somnium scan! Activate! A CRT TV.
Stop!
What is this video?
It is difficult to believe, but these are the faces of the victims of the original Cyclops killer.
What? What is going on here? Iris, what are you hiding?
We should continue. There are more objects to inspect now. Torso with a head.
If it has a head, is it still called a torso?
What would you call it? Nothing special.
You don't have the muscle mass. You need to do some shrimp.
What would be the point of that? I do not have muscles.
That's what I just said.
I cannot wait for the day I have enough muscle to punch you in the face. It will be splendid. A
5
torso
minutes
with
left,
a head.
Dante.
Even my consciousness is being affected.
While I was unconscious, the room changed.
I'm tired of this. We have no choice but to investigate.
A drug bottle that holds some kind of liquid. A full-body mirror. A full-body mirror. Are you sure I can break this mirror?
No, I don't think you have the strength to break it.
Then why did you ask me to, pervert?
Just punch it, and I'm not a pervert. You see? It won't break.
What was the point of that?
4 minutes.
A drug bottle that holds some kind of liquid. A syrupy smell, like sweet almonds.
Syrup? You think they were baking a cake or something?
If it isn't syrup, it's nitroglycerin.
Why is that here?
Nitroglycerin reacts violently upon light impact. It needs to be mixed to lower its sensitivity.
Mixed with what?
Acetone.
Acetone?
It is best that we do not disturb this for now.
Right.
An operating table.
How does it feel?
Awful. Am I going to be killed? Modified? I'm restless. I can't take the suspense.
Do you think they'll modify you into a grasshopper or a spider?
That's not what I'm talking about. Date, we're out of time.
Damn! What the hell is this place?
An old television. That video showed the face of a victim of the original Cyclops killer. It appeared to be the second victim.
What is going on? Iris has something to do with the first Cyclops case?
Unknown. I do not have enough information.
Guess that means we have to investigate more.
Indeed. The oil drum, shelf, and another torso have been added.
Let's go.
4 minutes.
A common gas canister. A torso similar to a fashion mannequin.
I didn't get hit, did I?
There is no effect on your body, Date.
Hit my soul hard enough.
While you were unconscious, a television and an old book appeared.
I want to get off this ride.
If my calculations are correct, it will be over soon.
Let's hope you're right.
An old-fashioned TV.
Please. Help me. Help me.
This was the third victim of the original Cyclops killer.
Why does Iris know that?
There is a possibility that she saw it online or on TV.
She even reproduced the circumstances of the killing. Would her imagination explain that?
Date, we have no direct evidence. For now, we must continue investigating.
Right.
Three minutes, Date.
It is a thick book. It has not been well preserved. Most of the ink has faded.
Can you tell what kind of book it is?
It is probably a book on... insects! It's a book on insects!
Don't get excited. I know how you love bugs. Does this book belong to Iris?
I didn't know she liked insects, and to read the book so often that it wears out.
Well, we can't prove it's Iris's.
True. We cannot conclude anything. An illustrated reference book. This will be easy. It's more brittle than crumbly cheese. Oh, it disappeared.
Melted down like a grilled cheese.
Just a locker.
Eba?
It's all right. More importantly, that is...
What happened in that Somnium?
We saw it too.
The 4 murdered women are without a doubt the victims of the original Cyclops serial killings.
That means...
The murders that occurred 6 years ago are these memory fragments that coalesced in this Somnium.
No. That means the person who killed them was... Hey, did you hear something just now?
It must be in your head.
The sinker does not always experience the somnium they expect. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. When using the sync machine for an investigation, we don't always see the memories we expect to see. True, oftentimes a subject will subconsciously want to express their dark secrets and repressed memories. That is why we see them so often in Somnia. And why those Somnia are so useful for criminal investigations. But this is not a guarantee. We cannot control the content of our dreams, after all. It's like I told you before. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. This can be expressed as an equation. Dream D equals memory A plus memory B plus memory C. This, of course, means that Dream D is a fictional event. However, the same cannot necessarily be said about memory A, B, and C. Those happened in reality. In other words, fiction is built from combinations of reality.
So what I saw in Somnium earlier...
Yes, I believe Iris actually witnessed those events.
Pewter, you said that memories happen in reality, right? But what about false memories? How do we know if the memory really happened?
Even false memories are built from the pieces of real ones. If you disassemble those pieces, you will find real events.
What about things you see in movies or television?
The events might be fictional, but the experience is not. Our imaginations are limited to what we have seen. We cannot invent something whole cloth. Remember what the boss said this morning. The original Cyclops killer has yet to be brought to justice. After the investigation got going, it was taken over by the government and classified. That was the last we heard anything about it. Of course, they paid lip service to the idea that the investigation was ongoing, but in reality, it was dropped completely.
In the Somnium earlier, I saw someone else who might be the criminal. Who was he?
I wouldn't know. I don't believe there's any meaningful connection. Between the original and new Cyclops serial killings, I mean.
Why is that?
The culprit is not the same. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
How can you be so sure?
Because I can. Don't worry about it. Just trust me.
You can't dream of something you know nothing about.
That means Iris must know about the killings.
6 years ago, Iris was 12.
Did she witness the crime at age 12? And not just one, but all four? The Cyclops killer appeared 6 years ago. I lost my memory 6 years ago. There has to be some kind of connection.
There isn't. It's a coincidence.
Really?
Really.
Help me understand this. What I saw during the sink earlier, that was the scene of the original Cyclops serial killings, right?
Yeah.
So the person doing the killing was the original Cyclops killer.
Right.
Did you see him? He was...
I saw your face. The original Cyclops killer was...
It can't be. That's impossible.
Date, you cannot say that for certain. You have no memories past 6 years ago.
So perhaps, Mr. Date, you are the killer. You're missing your left eye. So you steal them from others.
I'm kidding. You can't be the Cyclops killer.
Really?
Of course not. Do you think I would hire a serial killer? You interrogated Iris before the sink. What you saw in the Somnium was just a manifestation of the fear you put in her. Didn't I tell you? The entire case is a state secret. No matter how many times you ask, I won't tell you anything.
Dante, it looks like Iris is about to wake up.
Got it. Hey Iris, about that dream earlier.
Dream? What dream?
There is no point in asking her, Date. The subject of a sync does not experience somnium in the way that you do. They will not remember it.
Then what about the Cyclops killer from 6 years ago?
Cyclops killer? I remember hearing it on the news, but I was just a little girl. I don't remember anything specific.
You don't?
No,
What about the scene of the murder?
I don't know. I've never been there.
But
Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones.
You can't dream of something you know nothing about. Date, could you take Iris home?
huh?
We do not have enough evidence to hold her. Even in Somnium, we couldn't find anything. The law demands that we release her.
You cannot decline, Date.
Date, could we make a stop first?
Sure. Where?
Marble. It's a bar in Golden Yokocho.
You know about that place?
Yeah, Mr. Okiura took me before.
Why do you want to go there?
There's something I want to talk about.
We can't talk here?
It might take a while.
What do you think?
There's no reason to refuse. Besides, there's a lot I want to ask her, too. All right, sure.
Tessa!
Oh, Ota! No, I didn't tell him to come. He just showed up on his own.
No, this is my new one. You're thinking of the one I dropped in that puddle. I was nihiling with Tessa earlier. She said she was going to Marble, so I got here just before you did. Look, I was really worried about her. She was about to be charged with a serious crime. Oh, she left a little while ago. She said something about going to help an acquaintance. She told me to watch the place until she got back.
How well do you know Mama?
Not at all. It's my first time here.
This actually works out nicely. I want to ask you something, Ota. It's about a Nile message you sent Iris. You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that thing. That you'd stay quiet no matter what. What were you talking about?
Well,
I'll tell her about the two-witter thing. I swear I'll do it.
geez, fine. Just don't tell anyone else, okay? But before I tell you, Who's that?
What?
At the door. Someone's standing outside.
Where am I?
It looks like you're awake now. I tried. You wouldn't budge. I thought you were passed out drunk, so I left you like that.
But I didn't have a glass in front of me, right?
So you weren't drunk?
Didn't have a single drop.
Oh, I thought you were drinking straight out of the bottle. Just like the old days. It'll be 3 o'clock soon. In the morning, of course. Ota, the boy I asked to watch the bar?
I'd say he's too old to be called a boy, but yeah.
He was already gone when I came back. All I saw was you getting your beauty sleep on the floor.
Damn it, Ota. What are you thinking?
It appears that he took off with Iris.
What were you doing during all this?
My power was shut down due to the stun gun. I have rebooted in safe mode and am now operational. Date, the boss is calling.
Oh, how am I gonna report this one?
Date, listen. Stay calm, but this is an emergency. Just now, the killer... Well, just watch the video. I sent the address to Iba.
Iris! No, that's...
The criminal is streaming this live.
Iba, the source.
Identified. The Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Code...
Okiura?
Date, focus. We need to get to the site, now.
What's our ETA?
Our destination is far from here. 20 minutes at the fastest.
Please let me make it in time. That sick bastard!
Tessa! Hold on! I'll save you!
Ota!
can't be. No. Stop! No!
There you are. Finally. I was looking all over for you. It's rare to see you down like this, but it's understandable. You blame yourself for this, don't you? Beating yourself up about taking Iris to Marble, and about letting Ota get the upper hand on you. Am I right? Shall I tell you what Investigation HQ thinks? Ota Matsushita is a criminal stalker who committed murder-suicide. Ota had a selfish love for Iris. He was under the delusion that Iris loved him too. But Iris refused Ota. So Ota decided that he and Iris should be together in the afterlife, killed her, then killed himself.
That's ridiculous. Ota would never kill Iris. And how do you explain the other two murders? Iris's left eye was hollowed out. Just like Renju and Shoko. Those three murders were definitely executed by the same person. The new Cyclops killer. There's no way that's Ota. Too many pieces don't fit. Too many contradictions, like killing Iris.
Such as?
The culprit was wearing a polar bear costume, probably to hide their identity. But if murder-suicide was the plan, the costume served no purpose.
Maybe he was thinking like this. The reason Iris and I can't be together is because her agency prohibits it, making the president, Renju, the ultimate bad guy in his mind.
Mizuki is Ota's close friend. Do you really think Ota would kill his friend's father?
Shoko was married to Renju. Maybe he was trying to get at Renju by killing her.
That's a stretch. They've been divorced for years. Ota knows all about it. He wouldn't use Shoko to get to Renju.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota showed himself on the stream. If he was gonna kill Iris and then himself, why would he do that? The only reason you would show yourself like that is to prove that you weren't the culprit. Ota and the polar bear on the screen at the same time would prove that they're not the same person. That behavior would be totally unnecessary if he was gonna commit suicide anyway.
Well, maybe he wasn't planning on dying at first. After he killed Iris, he realized that he couldn't live with himself.
So he lies down on the workbench and turns on the ice-cutting machine himself? I don't buy it.
There are some additional discrepancies. I analyzed the investigation report. Judging by his wound, Ota was stabbed in the side by a kitchen knife or something similar.
Are you sure?
I am.
Oh, I know that.
Well?
Ota could have stabbed himself. Maybe he thought it would be a fatal wound, but when it didn't work, he went for the ice-cutting machine.
Then, shouldn't we have recovered the kitchen knife from the scene?
Maybe he threw it in the ocean.
Boss, come on. Ota goes out to the water, stabs himself in the gut, throws the knife over the side, then walks back to the warehouse?
Well, I wasn't being serious. I didn't think Ota was the culprit from the beginning. I was just playing devil's advocate for HQ.
Really?
Yes, really.
Anyway, Ota didn't kill anyone, and he didn't kill himself. Here's what I think happened.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota knew Iris was kidnapped, so he rushed onto the scene. That's when he saw the culprit wearing the polar bear costume. He tried to fight him off, but ended up being stabbed in the side. He was weakened and losing blood at the culprit's mercy. The culprit forced him into the costume, then under the ice-cutting machine. And then...
Then, who is the culprit?
I wish I knew.
We're up to 4 victims. But Ota was a special circumstance. He wasn't specifically targeted by the culprit.
Right. And he was the only one to not have his eye pulled out.
So let's focus on the 3 other victims. Shoko, Renju, and Iris. What connects these 3?
Connections.
If you find a connection between the victims, you find a connection to the culprit. That's the theory of investigation, right?
You think the new Cyclops killer is related to them somehow?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's a good starting point.
Renju and Shoko were connected to the Kumakuras, but there's no connection to Iris. Renju, Shoko, and So. There is a connection between Renju and Shoko through the Kumakuras, but again, I can't see any clear link to Iris. I know Renju and Shoko. And I'm connected to Iris, but I have an alibi. Aside from Shoko, there's no way I could have killed any of them. No. Now that I think about it, Shoko too. I don't remember killing her. My memories from 6 years ago are missing, but I still have my memory of recent events. And if I start doubting myself now...
Date, I can say without a doubt that there is 0 possibility you are the new Cyclops killer. I have been working with you for years. I know better than anyone that you are innocent.
Hitomi and Renju are definitely linked. They were high school classmates, and she did say that she met Shoko twice. But I can't imagine she would kill Iris in such a gruesome way. No matter what the circumstances were, it seems impossible to me. Mayumi had motive for killing Iris and Renju. Mayumi hated Iris, and she didn't think well of Lemniscate either. And since Renju is the president... Anyway, the weak point is Renju's ex-wife, Shoko. I can't imagine why Mayumi would kill her. And above all else, she would never harm her only son, let alone kill him. Mizuki has the strongest connections with all three victims. Shoko and Renju were her parents, and she was close friends with Iris. She was good friends with Ota too. But that's why I could never believe Mizuki would kill all four of them. Thinking of her as a suspect is ridiculous. I thought it over, boss. Of the people I know, I can't peg any of them as the murderer.
And no leads to pursue?
No.
Then there's only one thing you can do. Continue your investigation. Do whatever it takes to get the culprit. To get justice for the victims.
You're right. Got it, boss.
This forklift is old. It does not appear to be functional. It has not been moved in some time.
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find nothing. No, nothing so far.
Right here. Iris and Ota were...
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound, or...?
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death. If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle. Iris's estimated time of death and cause of death have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown. There are only a few items on the shelf.
Is this warehouse not in use?
a video camera, and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream. All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them. I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it. I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious. Date, we should get moving. Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. We will not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
All right.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little.
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
All right. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes. Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer, although it's more accurate to say killers.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras. They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball. "18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath, the Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss. He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
What was it?
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again. That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice,
There were two Cyclops killers.
and one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
That means... Pewter, tell me this. One of the original killers is dead, I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
Number 89?
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.
This is your fault. I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris, my boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go. She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right. Mizuki must know about Iris and Ota.
Of course. The news was distributed heavily across the internet. Not just in Japan, but worldwide. 3 days ago, Mizuki discovered her mother's body. 2 days ago, her father's. This morning, 2 of her best friends. It is completely understandable that she is at her mental limit.
Can I be left alone for a while?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Aiba, contact Abyss. See if they can get Mizuki a good counselor.
Understood.
In the language of flowers, the iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
Iris.
Ota was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Ota tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words. Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together, whether it was buying clothes or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine, and it was 2, then 3, and finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent, even though she needed constant attention growing up. Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why?
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago. That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Fuchu.
Prison?
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her. Dante, please, you have to catch them. Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Tell me.
The Kumakuras are involved in this case. Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras? Shoko also has a relationship with them. You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras. That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
3? Iris?
No, not that one. The boy. He came here last night?
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well. Have you heard the rumor? The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kawasaki. Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kawasaki? So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kawasaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kawasaki now. When I see images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kawasaki district at any cost. Casino Town Kawasaki will give new life to the city.
After that, So moved fast. He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kawasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off limits. However, the air in Kawasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kawasaki are going to skyrocket. And all that land is owned by the KE, and by So himself. The land he bought back for $1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that. It's just gossip. What were we talking about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kawasaki district? The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, I'll be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Where did she go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
True. What are you doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
What do we have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research. About number 89.